The first step to a great chart is good data. So before you create any type of graphical representation of your numbers, you need to have those numbers, like I have here, along with their labels in an Excel worksheet. Now once you have your data, you want to think about the data you want to chart. So for example, it's not a good idea to chart your detailed data with your total data. It can really skew the appearance of your graphs. Once you have the data in your chart, it's just a matter of selecting that data and then selecting the chart type that you'd like to create. So let's create a simple bar chart, and we're going to create it for just the west, the east, the south, and the north for January, February, and March. Because remember, you don't want to plot your detailed data with your total data. You want to do one or the other. So we're going to do detailed data for the first 3 months for west, east, south, and north. So all I'm doing is using my mouse and highlighting the data that I'd like to appear in my chart. Then you go to the Insert tab in your ribbon and you go to the Charts group and you simply choose which type of chart you'd like to create. I'm going to choose a column chart here, and then you choose which chart type based on the columns that you'd like to create. Let's go ahead and do a 3D column here. And you can see Excel immediately creates a chart and just places it into my document. Now it's got a nice little border around the edge, and if you look here on the side, you see those dots. Okay, that's the edge of your chart. If you'd like to move it, you simply click it. I'm going to move it down a little bit just so it's not right on top of my data. Now you've seen the contextual tabs pop up previously in this course when we've inserted mostly things like graphics or when we converted the Excel data to a table. When you work with charts, you actually get 3 additional contextual tabs: the Design tab, the Layout tab, and the Format tab. And this is where we're going to make all of our changes to our chart, which I'm going to show you in a topic coming up here fairly shortly. What I want you to do, though, is pay attention to the title up here, Chart Tools. And you can see it's kind of shaded. That tells you that these 3 tabs are contextual tabs, and as soon as we click off of our chart into any other area of our worksheet, we're going to lose those. And the only way to get them back is to select the chart again. Now once I do, I have access again to the Design, the Layout, and the Format of my chart. So let me create one more just so you can see how it's done again. And I'm going to delete this chart. So I'm simply going to select the outside of it. Notice I get little selection indicators in the center of each line and on each of the corners. And from there I can just press delete on my keyboard just like that. So again, all I did was I clicked the chart one time. I know it's selected because my Chart Tools contextual tabs pop up, and then I just press delete on my keyboard. So this time let's plot a chart that just shows our totals for west, east, south, and north. Now before I could highlight everything and I didn't have to think too much about it, but now because I just want totals and I just want the labels, I have to think about the sizes of my ranges. So when I'm plotting data that doesn't sit next to each other, here it's separated by 3 columns, when you plot data that doesn't sit next to each other on your worksheet, you need to make sure that you're highlighting similar size ranges. So here I need this total label and then the 4 cells just below it. In column A there is no label, but I still need to highlight 5 cells of data. So what we're going to do is we're going to click cell A1 and highlight down through cell A5. Then we're going to move our mouse over, hold the Control key down to select a non-continuous range, and then select total all the way down through cell E5. So I have 2 ranges that are the same size. Now I can go back to the Insert tab. Let's go ahead and this time let's do a pie chart, and we'll do one of the 3D pies, and it throws it right in there. I'm just going to move it down, and you can see it's already color coded for west, east, south,